Incredible radio call on Westwood One. Will Levis, 4 touchdowns. Tighten up, as they say, in Nashville. And Will Levis, I think, in a way, was the story of yesterday, Matthew. The 4 touchdown passes. Throws absolute dimes as well. These were pristine passes, particularly the 4th touchdown. Now, we'll see how it goes when there aren't just comical busts in man coverage, but at the same time, he was a huge story.
Did his job.
He did his job. Somebody on that field did at the quarterback position.
Hold on. So you telling me Will Levis was the best quarterback standing in the state of Tennessee yesterday?
Yes, sir.
I think I'm going to have to agree here, and it ain't even close. And I'll go even further. Man, Will Levis, watched him at Penn State, of course watched him at Kentucky. All things considered, this is the best game he's played in the past 5-6 years. Like, he had these type of games against teams like Northern Illinois and New Mexico State.
Shout out to New Mexico State, by the way. We haven't talked about them enough.
Granted, again, coverages was busted. You hit your guys.
Yeah.
You hit them, Go ahead, Matthew.
Well, I was just going to say is that the knock on Levis was that he's a little bit raw, but everyone knows coming out of college, this is a guy who had a cannon for an arm, and that was on full display yesterday. And when you have guys like DeAndre Hopkins, and not that Treylon Burks did this much, but like they have guys that can stretch the field on that team. And so, it's interesting. Mike Florio last night on Football Night in America, he talked to Will Levis after the game. And he talked with Will and, said, what was the message that you got from Mike Vrabel? And Mike Vrabel was like, you have 1 hour to celebrate, then we're getting ready for Thursday. That's right.
Real.
They're on Thursday Night Football against the Steelers. Levis is going to start that game as well. I think that I'm not ready to – we'll talk about him more in waivers tomorrow, and certainly in deeper leagues you're going to pick him up. But it'll be interesting to see if, now that the Titans have won, are they still shopping Derrick Henry and Tannehill, despite what they've been saying, like, we're not – believe me, if they get the right deal, they're moving them. It'd be just interesting to see what the Titans do, but given the success of Levis yesterday, you could certainly see Tannehill being moved at the trade deadline. We'll see how that plays out. I think the exciting thing here is for people that it's been a struggle with DeAndre Hopkins and some of the other skill players around on the Titans, and this just opens it up. It opens up running lanes for Derrick Henry. It opens up, obviously, fantasy success for DeAndre Hopkins. So really excited. And again, as we've talked about, Will Levis, a Connecticut kid from Madison, Connecticut, a fantasy player himself. Happy for the kid. Just awesome story, and good for the Titans.
Ryan Tannehill in Viking purple is my prediction. Uninformed, but that's my prediction.
By the way, it makes sense from both sides.
Yep. Why not? Jaylen Waddle, who has had an uneven start to the season. Lawrence, he was injured to start the year. He's had some low snap counts, but he broke out in a big way yesterday.
Yeah, and this is what we foresaw happening. He had to get it together at some point. Finally saw a season high in targets, receiving yards, and fantasy points. And Tyreek Hill was wide receiver 4. Let's not forget that. But to see Waddle come in as wide receiver 6, this is what we kind of expected from these 2 receivers coming into the season. He's got 4 straight games with at least 5 targets. So now is when you're going to see him, start to get involved more. He was a little banged up the last game. He left for a little bit, came back, but I think the wheels is rolling for Waddle and this Dolphins offense.
Yeah. Now, Matthew, I was told the Todd Monken offense would be high octane, passing, a lot like last week against the Detroit Lions, and then Gus Edwards goes 80 yards for 3 touchdowns, and Lamar Jackson does not much.
Oh, no, I'm well aware Lamar Jackson did not much, Lawrence.
Easy. Did you have a better son?
Guys, guillotine league. Damn it, my guillotine league. He's the quarterback of my guillotine league.
Well, not anymore. He's about to be the quarterback of my guillotine league.
No, look, you're going to make it through. You're going to make it through. I trust and believe that. I have Hurts. We could trade him straight up next week.
No. Different. This is a different guillotine league.
I was like,
this is this is the guillotine league that I care about.
Okay.
Not the one I'm in with you. So look, the guillotine league that I care about, Lamar Jackson's my guy, and because he's so brutal. Like, if Josh Jacobs gets 12 fantasy points, I'm cut. I'm done. Because, Damian Pierce also got a touchdown called back. Everything went wrong for me yesterday. One thing that did go right for me, however, was Gus Edwards, who made the love list as well. I talked about in the love list on NBCSports.com. He's had 15-plus touches in 3 of the past 4 games. And so now 21 touches in this one. He's had at least 15 touches in 4 of the past 5. Seems like he's really solidified himself as the starting running back of the Baltimore Ravens. Third straight game with 3 or more red zone touches. Obviously, he converts the 3 touchdowns. I don't know that you're expecting that. And he's not really involved in the passing game despite the 80-yard reception, whatever he had the other day, a week ago. But I think this is more real than not. They play Seattle, Cleveland, Cincinnati next. So 3 tough run defenses, but he's been good enough, getting enough volume that I think he's RB2-ish in that range.
Yep, and they love to run it when they're getting close. Fantasy legend Austin Eckler had a big game last night on Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, true fantasy legend too, especially for a running back. Austin Eckler, shout out to him. Only 29 rushing yards on the ground for 1.9 yards a carry, but it doesn't matter here because he went for 94 in the receiving game. And like you said, he cashed part of your parlay on the first drive.
Yes, sir.
On a screen pass to the end zone. So it's nice to have him healthy. When he's healthy, he's a threat to score every game. He was definitely a weekend warrior for us.
It's good to see him back, and good to see him part of the passing attack.
Another weekend warrior, Trey McBride,
Yes,
who
sir.
you talked up yesterday, Matthew.
Yeah, he was also, by the way, he also made the love list as well. Look, by the way, before I'm patting myself on the back too much, DeAndre Hopkins was on the hate list. I apologize to America. I was wrong on that.
No one bets
I
$1,000.
thought
we
AJ Terrell.
moved. I said he was going to be outside 40 receivers.
Yeah.
He killed that in one play.
Yes, sir, he did. Anyway, so whatever. We were both wrong. Apologies to DeAndre Hopkins. But Trey McBride, we did talk about on pregame. He was in the love list as well. 14 targets. To me, that's the most impressive thing. It's not the touchdown.
Yeah.
That's great. But 14 targets as well with Zach Ertz on IR. He had a 39% target share as well. So Arizona, which is second in tight end target share, now it's all going to McBride. We'll talk about it more tomorrow during the waiver wire show. But I think this is a lot more legit than not. He was somebody who was highly touted out, and now that the opportunity is there, he's taking advantage of it. Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and Rotoworld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest Roto-World fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.